The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 528 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hi, I'm Toby Philpott. I'm Jabba's left-hand man and tongue, and I am skywalking through Netherland. Bo Shuda.
And you were doing cats when you got Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Can you show us a little cat move?
Hi, this is Howie Weed, and I'm skywalking through Neverland.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland.
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets loud.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never Land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! So you want more exclusive content from Rebel Scum Con? Well, coming up, we have Toby Philpott, who was one of the Jabba the Hutt puppeteers. We have Oola actress Femi Taylor, and Howie Weed, the Wampa in The Empire Strikes Back Special Edition. All of that coming right up in just a few minutes. But for right now, we want to welcome you back to
Skywalking Through Neverland.
I am Richard Woloski. But now everyone, please say hello to my fuzzy-eared sweetie wife, Sarah.
That's right. We couldn't talk about Return of the Jedi, which we're going to be talking about, without some Ewok ears. Aw, I love them.
You came very topical.
Yes. Skywalkers, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. So imagine a weekly Wookiee hug and a little sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers.
Later on, we're also going to be shouting out the Skywalking Force. Now, we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world, a Disney cruise, or to one of the Universal Studios theme parks. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
We are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on September 2nd, 2025. So, Richard, what happened in Star Wars history?
This day, September the 2nd, but in 2014, only a scant 11 years ago, Star Wars A New Dawn, written by John Jackson Miller with a foreword by Dave Filoni, is released by Del Rey. And this Star Wars Rebels prequel is the first published novel in the new canon timeline. I know there's some controversy between the reboot and let's not reboot, but I was kind of glad when they said, okay, let's just start all over again and reboot. That way everything will be in one timeline.
But at least it was one place to start from.
Yes.
That you could start fresh. I did that with the comics because the comics were so convoluted. So when they rebooted that as well, I was like, okay, well, now's my chance to jump into comics. Because until 2015 or 14, I had not read comics at all.
Yeah, well, yeah, very, very good point. The comics, which I really wanted to get into, but there were so many coming out. Which one really matters?
Yeah.
And now it all matters.
Yeah, Fernando says he read that book, A New Dawn, in high school. Awesome, Fernando.
Well, we did a special 10th anniversary on A New Dawn back on episode 481. A year ago today we did that. So we'll put that link in the show notes for everyone. That was a really fun episode too. Yeah, they're all fun episodes.
Of course they are. Ooh, Glenn has a story about he stopped reading A Story of Ice and Fire to read A New Dawn and never went back. And A Story of Ice and Fire is what the Game of Thrones is based on. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, you just watch Game of Thrones. That works, Glenn.
Now, last week we said that we would feature our classic Marvel Star Wars comics for this episode right now, but we're still working on it, so we're going to bring you some really, really fun discussions. I don't want to say interviews. Interviews is so formal. Mm-hmm. What we did, we had some fun discussions with everyone we talked to at Rebel Scum Con. So right now, let's kick things off with Toby Philpott, one of the Jabba the Hutt puppeteers, the one with the tongue.
We are here with Toby Philpott, one of the many Jabba the Hutt puppeteers. But let's find out what body parts did you puppeteer for the vile gangster?
Basically, I'm doing all the body moves. I'm swinging the body about, moving the head. I'm doing the left arm and the tongue when it was needed. And the other guy is doing the right hand and the mouth and all the dialogue.
Now, this has been a character that we've been reading about since 1976 in the novelization.
Yeah.
But you got to puppeteer this character.
Yeah.
How did you get this prime position?
I was working for Jim Henson on The Dark Crystal. I'd been hired to do big creatures which were uncomfortable. And in the process, I learnt filming and I learnt puppetry from Jim and Frank, so that's pretty good. And George was quite close and watching what they were doing. I mean, he'd already done Yoda with Frank, for instance. Mm-hmm. So the next film into the same studio was Revenge of the Jedi, as it was called then. And I didn't even audition. Dave Barclay was given the job as chief puppeteer, and he was asked who he wanted for a co-pilot, and he's my friend, and he went, I'll take Toby. I didn't know that at the time. I thought they'd talent spotted me. I thought they went, he's a genius, we'll have him. You know.
That's what I was getting at, because once again, this is a character we've known for such a long time, and I'm sure to get one of those positions in there would have been like a list of as far as the eye can see.
But the film business is quite closed. They hire people they know. Mm-hmm. I mean, people used to think it was corrupt in the sense, if you had a family member, it's just easier to get a job.
Yes.
In this particular case, it was partly to do with the talent, but also because, as I say, Jim and George were quite close. They weren't the same company, but they were definitely copying each other and helping each other.
Right, yeah. And one hand scratches the other one's back.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Barclay hadn't got an actor's union card. He was just a builder on Dark Crystal. So they asked him to build Jabba the Hutt. And he said, I'm contracted to Jim Henson. I can't really do that. I'm busy. So they made a building crew, but then they came back to him and said, well, if you haven't got time to be a builder, could you be the performer? and then they came to me and said, he's not a union member, as though I might go, it has to be a union member. And I said, well, get him a ticket. I mean, none of the Muppets had union cards. They were Americans. You don't need a union ticket if you have a unique skill. If you have a unique skill that cannot be replaced.
Interesting.
So the Muppet people didn't have visas. And so Dave got me the job, but I got him a union card. So.
See, once again, one hand scratches the other's back and so on and so forth. You know what? Can I show you a couple of scenes from Return of the Jedi?
Sure.
And then you can commentate on them.
Okay.
Here's Leia comes into Jabba's palace, and you can give us some...
As the bounty hunter.
Yeah, as Bausch. If you can give us some behind-the-scenes stories.
Well, I mean, it's really interesting because we hadn't really met Carrie Fisher. We hadn't seen her in the bikini and all that. To us, she was the bounty hunter. We hardly knew the plot or the script. We had our pages, and that's all we had. So when she came in, plus she was saying silly things. That's me hitting C-3PO, by the way, because I'm the left hand. So that's a whole other story. She knew they were going to dub the voice on afterwards. She was just saying silly stuff, because we're hearing the silly stuff.
You tell that overacting blob that if he doesn't give me the money I ask, he shall have to remain in show business on this set for the rest of his life.
And we're trying to act with her, but she's sort of literally going blah, 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 whatever. You silly old thing, whatever. I can't remember.
I'm going to guess most of it was
a little
profane laced.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, so here you are hitting C-3PO.
Yes.
Because you had enough of this droid.
Yeah. And basically they shoot it from low down.
Yeah, boom.
So he hasn't got his legs on, so that Anthony could stagger about and not fall down. So they shoot it looking upwards. And I said, I can't see what I'm doing. Anthony said he can't see what he's doing. So the fight coordinator set us up and went, can you do a blow and a stop? And I went, yeah. And Anthony would throw himself backwards. And, I miss him by, 4 inches or something. But even so, there's 100 and something people on the set waiting for you to get it right.
So they had a stunt coordinator, because Anthony Daniels had to spin around.
Yeah. I mean, there's a fight coordinator arranging it to make it look right. But there was no stuntman that could fit into C-3PO, so it had to be Anthony Daniels. Mm-hmm. So I was at risk of injuring a major star.
Do you recall how many takes it took to get that?
I think we did 2.
That's it, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Because it was kind of dangerous.
And at some point, did you actually hit him?
No, it worked. I mean, as I say, they're very, very careful about what they're doing. It's really whether the effect works, whether the magic works. Because, they add the thump and the green Swarfiga on his chest. That's all added later. All I got to do is get that move right.
Yeah, the rest is up to Ben Burtt.
Yeah.
So you had to not only hit 3PO, but earlier you had to grab Bib Fortuna.
Yes, yeah.
So
again, he's been in makeup for 3 hours, right? He's got contact lenses, he's got fingernails.
So no one can see.
No, but I mean, you don't want to hurt him.
Right,
you know what I mean? You've got to be fairly careful. And I'm trying to grab him with a big rubber glove. This is not, it's a 3-fingered glove.
We had a monitor though, right? So you could kind of judge where he was?
Well, not really. We had a black and white security camera in the roof showing us Jabba. But, on our chest is... Nowadays, you can watch a movie on a thing this size, right? But back then, it was a black and white grainy image. We could just see Jabba, but had no sense of depth or proportion.
Right.
It wasn't, we were basically working blind.
Right. Did that shot ever go wrong where you pulled Bib Fortuna? Because
not as far as I know.
Okay.
I don't have any memories of getting things wrong. What happens is they say we're going to go again, and I say, did I do something wrong? And they went, no, the lighting was wrong, or you've got to keep doing it because it might be someone else's fault. Right. You can't start getting guilty every time.
You can't get in your head. And plus, you're inside this big giant puppet where everyone's outside. They know what's going on, but you and David Barclay and Mike
But they have
Edmonds,
no idea what our problem is.
Right, yeah. So you're pretty much acting as a whole different unit where you don't know what's really happening.
We spent our whole time as a separate unit on walkie-talkies, just talking to each other. So we didn't get a social life with them. Normally on a film set, there's lots of hanging around. You get to meet people, chat. Read a newspaper, play cards, smoke a cigarette, or whatever you're going to do.
So if you want to get in and out of Jabba, was it through the dais, or was there like a big seam in the back?
through the dais, because the whole palace is built about like that black curtain, about 6 or 8 feet off the ground, because we had to have a rancor pit.
Oh right, yeah.
So you've got to be able to drop somebody in.
Right.
And generally with puppet shots. We have it off the floor so that puppeteers can be underneath. You can cut a hole, stick your arm up and put a puppet on it.
Tin rows with salacious crumb down there.
Yeah, exactly. So, most puppet sets are built off the ground for that reason.
Now, there's a lot of shots of just Jabba moving around, and I'm sure they spent like a couple of hours just going, look left, look right, do that.
Yeah. Yes.
So while the rest of the scene is going on, you guys are just in there going, we're going to wait until they yell cut and give us direction.
Dave is doing the dialogue here in English.
Oh, really?
Our script was in English.
David Barclay, the right hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as I say, Chief Puppeteer is the one who speaks.
Your mind powers will not work on me, boy.
And it's all a guide track. We're pretty sure they were going to dub it later. Not absolutely certain. Or they might have taken his voice and boosted it and amplified it. But there was a very good chance they were going to fiddle with it. They don't like English accents, right? It's supposed to be an American movie.
Well, if you're part of the Empire, then you can have a British accent.
The universe speaks American, I'm afraid. Sorry, No, I mean Darth Vader wanted to do his own voice, but he had a very strange English accent, and they went, "No, we're going to put a different voice on there."
Yeah, you can't sound like someone.
But the same thing happened to us, basically. And we didn't know that until we saw the crew showing.
Oh, so did David Barclay think that they were going to use his
Well, we
voice?
didn't know, but all we had was pages of script in English so that when you're acting, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm sure George Lucas didn't peek in there and say, okay, guys, let me give you some background on this.
No, we had no backstory at all, really.
But going into this, did you know who Jabba the Hutt was?
Not really.
Okay.
He's mentioned in New Hope before the CGI.
Right, yeah.
He's mentioned very briefly all we knew was that he was a pirate that Han Solo owed money to, and that he had kidnapped Han Solo and had him on the wall as a decoration. That's all we knew.
Okay, that's pretty much 89% of what most people knew anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, our approach to him was that he's not evil like the Emperor or Darth Vader. Yeah. He's bad, he's wicked.
He's a gangster.
Mm-hmm. But he's kind of a comedy villain.
Right.
He's not, I mean, you want to be him, you want to have parties like him, you want to have that kind of power. But I don't want to be the Emperor. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be evil.
Way too much stress.
But it looked like it might be fun being Jabba.
So when you first saw Jabba the Hutt, what did you think? Because he doesn't look anything like what they told us he was going to look like in the comics.
No.
This is something totally different.
Yeah. Well, Phil Tippett had designed it and shown George various variations, and you'll see him talking about it occasionally. That looks too much like a frog or a worm. That looks too much like a human being. And eventually he asked George, well, what is it you're after? And he says Sydney Greenstreet in The Maltese Falcon.
Right.
So that's why I go, big comedy villain. This is the way I thought about it.
Right.
And it worked, because you do feel, through a puppet, you do feel mood or emotion. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's part of puppetry, part of the magic of puppetry is getting the character right. You think of Frank Oz, he's sheepish Fozzie Bear, he's pushy Miss Piggy, he's completely mad animal on the drums, and that's the same man, but he's doing different dynamics.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, this is my wife Sarah. She and I are both puppeteers.
Oh right.
So we got to really get in there, and everything's all body language.
Okay, but so you know about puppets.
Yeah. So that's why I really wanted to talk to you to talk puppets.
Sure.
We have powerful friends. You're going to regret this.
Now, for that scene where your Jabba's tongue is going out to Leia.
Yeah. It's one of those funny stories that it goes round that I licked Leia's face, but I've never said that as such. What I said was, on the first take, I pushed the tongue out. It's covered in horrible gloop, by the way. We used to paint it on between takes. Really disgusting. So on the first one, I pushed the tongue out, and they went, yeah, okay, cut, that's all right. And then I heard Richard Marquand saying, can you push it any further out? And I went, have you told Miss Fisher that I'm going to change what I'm doing? Because, you block moves.
Right.
And he went, no, I want a spontaneous reaction. So on the next take, action, I push it out, and then I hear a little whoop and cut. And then we did a third take where they said, not quite so much. Now, when I came out afterwards, I went, what's wrong with the second take? Somebody on the set said, I think you licked her face. But first of all, I haven't seen that footage. I never got round to asking her. And there are lots of pranks on film sets, so it's quite possible that I didn't. But the story went on the internet as, the man who licked Princess Leia. So I'm rather stuck with it. I'm either pulling the story back and going, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but maybe I didn't.
I think if you had, Carrie Fisher would have made that an anecdote somewhere. That Jabba looked her face.
Exactly, but it certainly got close. And when you see her react now, she's definitely, that's not acting. It was disgusting. And when she goes, ugh!
That wasn't just acting, right?
I think that's the third take. I might be wrong.
What did you say was on that tongue? It was just...
they had a bucket of gloop that they mixed up. It was this kind of stuff, KY jelly, I don't know, children's... It was horrible. They had a secret recipe.
Yeah.
And they had a bucket. And the 6 builders were always on the set to help, fix things. But the last one in of their team got the job of doing the bucket.
Oh, makes sense.
It was the crap job,
so to speak. Yeah. A couple of celebrations ago, I pretty much cosplayed as you because I had that big blow up Jabba the Hutt, and I cut a little hole in the mouth and got this slippery slipper that had all latex. I put goo on it, and I put it outside the face. So
it is
really I cosplayed as you.
Yeah.
Now, you're here at Rebel Scum Con 2025.
Yep.
What's your impression of this convention? You've been to so many conventions. What's your impression of this?
This is very well organized. I've come 5,000 miles to do it, so, it has to be okay. Lovely people, very well organized. I'm probably going to make a bit of money, and I have the adventure. But I don't really get to see Texas. It's pretty much airport, hotel, gig, airport, gone. Sometimes if I go a long way, I can get a week off to hang about.
Back in, I want to say, Celebration 5 in Orlando, our friend Chris Alexander, who wrote the Star Wars origami book, he wanted me to thank you for helping them raise thousands of dollars for charity.
Yeah, no, I befriended
because you got in there and you helped them fold that big life-size Jabba the Hutt origami.
What happened was, I was on walkabout. Every now and then at conventions, I try and just go and have a little look. And there was a display of little tiny origami figures, both spaceships as well as creatures. And it was Chris. And I said, oh, well, look, there's a Jabba. And he was there. And I said, did you know I'm one of the puppeteers? And he went, so what? I said, and Dave Barkley's just around the corner. The two of us, that we are Jabba, in effect, despite the fact that it takes a whole team. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, we're folding a life-size one later. Would you come over and do an honorary, a bit like cutting the ribbon, we didn't do the whole thing, but we went over there and helped the fold. And then once they finished it, they put it up on the bandstand, and I think we all signed it and they auctioned it for charity or something.
Yeah, it raised, I think, over $3,000.
Yeah.
So you wanted me to thank you for that.
Oh, well, that's nice. Funnily enough, he sent me the instructions, and I've been too lazy because really, if I'm doing a quiet day like this, I should be sitting here making Jabbas to give away. No, he sent me the instructions. I've learnt 2 origamis in my life before, the flapping bird and the frog. So when I said that, he went, well, you won't find this too difficult. And the it's still sitting there, the instructions, but I am just lazy.
Well, that takes time, I know.
Yeah.
Now, to any future puppeteers out there, what kind of tips can you give them, or us as puppeteers? Any puppeteering?
Well, I'm not really a puppeteer. See, the problem is, my dad was a puppeteer, and he wrote books, and he ran workshops. He was a Grand Master back in the 30s and 40s. But although I grew up around puppets, I didn't want to be a puppeteer. Dave Barkley was in a puppet family, and he, that's all he does. Whereas my mum was an actress and a singer, and I didn't want to be an actor. So I ended up in circus as some kind of somewhere halfway my own thing.
Right.
So all I can say with puppetry, really, people ask, how do you get into it? And I go, well, I would recommend first of all that you build puppets and perform them. Because as you can see with Dark Crystal and Jedi, I am only performing them, I am not building them. And certainly when you're learning, it's really important to build them and find out where the problems are. So you have to adjust the build, and you go, oh, wait a minute. Just for instance, you can't do that because that's your eyes going up and down. Yeah. You've got to learn to take the thumb downwards. Just silly things that you don't know until you try.
Right. Oh, that makes sense.
Jim forced us to do that because, as he said, you don't make your eyes go up and down.
Oh, okay.
It's quite hard to just do the thumb downwards.
It is. Yeah, because your hand wants to go up.
Yeah. Or if you shout, you can do that.
Right.
But
punch it.
Yeah. And also, then some of the experiments we did with him were counting numbers. So it sounds easy: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you go, yeah, that's easy. And you get to 11. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Then you do the alphabet, and it gets even harder. A, B, C, D, E sounds all right.
Right.
Then you get to W.
W. Yeah, anything with 2 or more syllables.
And he said it depends how fast you're going. If you're saying going slowly, it would be W. If you're going faster, it's W. And you can even get away with 1. If you were saying W. I mean, if you were going. So the whole skill of lip sync, which I didn't have, because as I say, my dad's puppets were these kind of puppets, just a head and 2 hands.
Oh, right.
So not even mouth syncing.
Also, runs in the family.
Yeah, but I got the magic of puppets. That's what I got from my childhood, even though I didn't do it. I knew that if you do it right, it completely fools people. They talk to the puppet.
Yeah, another big tip, do it in front of kids.
Yeah.
Because if you make a mistake, they'll call you out.
Yeah. But they also believe very quickly if you get it right.
Right, yeah, that's the magic of it.
Yeah.
When they want to talk to the puppet, no matter how old they are, they want to talk to the puppet. They forget there's someone behind there.
Sure.
Doing
After my dad, after he did a show, he had a squirrel. So when he'd come out to talk to the audience, he would just have a squirrel, and it doesn't talk, it wasn't that kind of puppet. But they would come up and try and stroke it, and it would be shy.
Yeah.
And they'd go gently, calm down, But they would immediately see it as alive. Kids really believe it if you do it properly. He even had a mouse. He had a little velvet mouse that was just literally a 3-finger one. Little tiny thing. But for them to interact with, not as a character talking to them, but literally as a living being.
Oh,
so I mean, as I say, I grew up with that, realizing that that was possible, that kind of magic works.
Did your dad ever see your work on Return of the Jedi?
No, he died before that.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
He died when 78. It's actually funny that it's partly after he died that I decided I couldn't do clowning. I was finding it difficult to go and do my comedy show. So I decided to get a new skill. I thought I'll go and study mime. I'll do 3 months mime course. Just for the poet in me, just because I'm sad. Mm-hmm. And it was the mime course, my mime teacher, that said, there's an audition for big body characters on a film. Go for it. So
your father was looking out for you.
Yeah, a year after my dad died, I was a puppeteer.
That's so
it's
sweet.
It's just weird, isn't it? And it's possible that Jim knew my surname was,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so, because he came up one day and said, I know your mother. And I went, no, you know my dad's second wife. But, she was a puppeteer as well.
Right.
But, so he may have thought I knew more about puppets than I did. He might have been disappointed when he goes.
Fake it until you make it, right?
Yeah.
All right, one last question. Is there any story you have not told yet about their making of Return of the Jedi? Something that you thought, you know what, no one's asking me about that one yet.
It's a good question. I'm not sure. I think we've covered just about everything.
Something involving Richard Marquand's direction, or...
Well, yeah. I mean, just silly things would happen. I went out one day to get a coffee, and the security guy came over and said, excuse me, sir, this is a closed set. You're not allowed in here. And I went, I'm the star. I'm the main... But he'd never seen my face. We come in the morning, climb inside, and we would just jabber all day, right? And we got Richard Marquand to talk to us as Jabba. We said, don't start saying who's moving the left hand. Talk to us as though we're an actor, and then leave it to us to figure it out. So he would literally stand in front of us. He was shy to start with, but eventually he would go, Jabba, I want you to do this and do that, and we go, okay, But it works. I mean, the same way you don't talk to Kermit, you don't talk to Jim,
right.
You talk to Kermit,
yeah.
You talk to the puppet. So, Richard Marquand was a good sport about it, because we said it helps us, because we're practicing every time we talk to you, we're practicing, how to make him move.
Uh-huh.
But the day we knew we'd fooled him, because as I say, he was a little bit self-conscious about it, directing in front of 100 people and talking to a puppet. But there was one day when he was standing in front of us and he said, okay, Jabba, I want you to look this way. And we had to say, we're not looking out of these eyes. We actually couldn't see which way he was. But we went, now we fooled him, because now he thinks he's got eye contact.
So he was thinking Jabba was a real actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jabba, your agent called up, you got to sign on the dotted line again.
Exactly. But that was the day we knew we'd done it.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Toby Philpott, a man I've been waiting to talk to for so long.
That's great.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
So when did we speak with Toby? Was that on Sunday? It was like at the very end of the convention. And Richard, what did you think about this?
I had a great time with Toby, and I've been wanting to talk to him for so long, because he's a puppeteer, we're puppeteers, and I just wanted to talk shop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did. He gave us some puppeteering tips, which I was so grateful for. And all of his stories too.
Well, and he's talking about how the puppeteering, you have to kind of go with your thumb. Yeah. It is a lot harder to do than boop, 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 boop. Yeah.
And most of the guests at Rebel Scum was like, hey, you know what? We'll give you like 5 or 6 minutes, but then I got to get back to business. But he had a really good time talking with us.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed listening to you guys. I was having fun.
Yeah, you were.
That was great.
Oh, you chimed in there as well.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Now, let's go back to Jabba's palace and hear from Oola actress Femi Taylor. Is Oola still alive? We are here with Femi Taylor, Oola from Return of the Jedi. Woo-hoo! I've been waiting so long to talk to you. Yes, I have.
I hope I'm not a disappointment.
Yeah. Oh, no, not at all. On Facebook doesn't count, but now this is the actual thing. Now, when you auditioned for Oola, I'm sure they didn't tell you what it was for.
No, they didn't, which made it really difficult, because often when you go out for a part, you get prepared mentally and physically, but we had no idea what it was going to be.
When you did finally get the part, did they say, oh, you're going to be a slave to a Star Wars gangster?
I like the way he was a Star Wars gangster. No, they didn't really sort of say that. They just said, you've got Oola. And I think that sort of evolved after I got the part and what they wanted to do. So,
oh, really? Yeah. Did you inspire the part in any way?
Yeah, I did.
Because you're a dancer.
Yes, yeah.
So you had to dance in your audition.
Yes.
Do you have a signature dance move that really sold them?
No, you know what? It was choreographed.
Oh.
It wasn't improvised. It was choreographed. We had a choreographer called Ginny and Gregory, and she choreographed every second of it. Yeah, it was quite challenging, but it was really good.
And you were doing cats when you got Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Can you show us a little cat move? Wow. All right. Now, a lot of kids sat up straight when they saw you as Oola right over here.
Yeah.
Can you describe her costume?
Well, what, leather and lace? I remember Richard Markman, the late Richard Markman, saying, I'm so sorry, but it's not going to be much. It's going to be leather and lace, but it's going to look fantastic. And I said, don't worry, look, as long as it's conducive for the part, I don't mind.
When you were dancing to Lopty Neck in Jabba's palace, what song were you actually listening to?
Empty Neck, that one.
Oh, they had it re-recorded already.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes,
Oh,
so blasted out on the stage. Absolutely.
Now, you came back for Return of the Jedi Special Edition.
I did.
We saw what happened when you rolled down the chute to the Rancor pit. We heard some screaming, but we didn't see any remains of Oola when Luke came down.
That means she might not have escaped.
So she might have escaped. So parting thought, Harrison Dula is also a green Twi'lek. Maybe she's hiding you out somewhere?
Maybe she is, who knows?
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Ladies and gentlemen, Femi Taylor.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, I'm not sure how safe it was putting Oola next to Jabba the Hutt. You have Femi Taylor and Toby Philpott.
They were next to each other, yeah.
I don't know if Femi was getting some bad flashbacks.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, or you could have put Dennis Muren in there, who was one of the puppeteers for the Rancor.
Oh.
It really just freak her out.
Yeah. Poor Femi.
Now, truth be told, when we sat down, she was like, I just did a lot of interviews. I'm kind of tired. But because I looked like her brother Benedict, she said, yeah, come on over. I'll talk with you guys for a few minutes.
She's a very nice woman. I don't think she likes saying no, even though she was tired.
Right, but she was tired, and it was like lunchtime. So things we learned at this convention, don't wait until the last day.
Yeah.
And don't ask anyone for an interview around noon.
Exactly.
But yeah, her brother Benedict is also a Star Wars actor. He was part of the Bravo Squadron in The Phantom Menace, so he is one of the Naboo starfighter pilots.
That is so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so Femi, thank you so much for giving us your time. All right, now let's take a break and shout out the Skywalking Force.
Shout outs, Skywalker shout outs. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who has tweeted out? Shout out. Who has photobombed? Shout out. Who has shared a post? Shout out.
Skywalkers, if you see your name right here on the YouTube version of this show, that means you are part of the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon, and we love you, we appreciate you, and that's why every month we shout you out on our episode.
So we get some new Skywalking Force members here.
Yeah, we do. In fact, welcome to Cat Luva 97.
Woo!
Yay!
Thank you so much for joining the elite squadron of the Skywalking Force.
And many thanks also to Anthony Kikias,
Blessed Cheesemaker,
Bryn McKinnon,
Chickafant,
Christopher Marino,
Courtney Turkell,
Dale Erdman,
Dave Kerwin,
Don Glover,
DynastyBook.net,
Glenn Stein,
Hey Glenn, Goalie Rob,
Jeff Caffrey,
Jeremy and Heather Hunt,
Joey Pittman,
John Liang,
John Zancanaro,
Julie Caruana,
Julie and James Gildersleeve,
hey there, Justin Smith,
Cato Toby Ryder,
Kelly Turkell,
Kristen Carr,
Laura Bryce,
Leanne Nelson,
Meredith Duckworth,
Michael Corbett,
Michael Nip,
Mike Ward,
Nancy Steinman,
Patty Hammond,
Patty Nazarian,
Peter and Norma Heitman,
Reynold Gobey,
Ryan Wiltberger,
Sasha Barrios,
Scott Carmichael,
Scott Hume,
Taryn Bench,
Wesley Meekholmes,
William Megalio,
and Win Patterson. Let's give an extra shout out to Taryn Bench.
Yes.
Who has been donating some Spirit jerseys to our Star Wars Trivia live panels.
Yes. She is Benchlandia on Instagram.
And she is with Spirit Jersey.
Right. She's the brand manager for Spirit Jersey. So
thank you so much for that.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, everyone, thank you so much for contributing. As you know, it's not cheap to run a podcast.
No.
And some of the things that this funding goes to are new microphones and hosting on Libsyn.
Yeah, which is our podcast platform, also our website. Everything costs money, right? Yeah, we were hacked on our website, so now we have to subscribe to a place that monitors our website for those kind of things.
Yeah, some skywalking security out there.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. They're skywalking security. Yeah. So it's a really good thing that you guys help us with.
Yeah. So thank you, and thank you. Oh, Ben says he loves Libsyn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Libsyn has been our host for almost the whole 12 years.
And he also knows Scott Hume.
Oh
my gosh.
Oh.
That's amazing. And Glenn is excited because he sees his name. Yes. Yeah, and if anybody's interested in joining the Skywalking Force, there's many different levels and options. You can just check that out at skywalkingforce.com.
All right, now let's roll into our last interview from Rebel Scum Con, and that is with Howie Weed, who played the Wampa in the Empire Strikes Back Special Edition, Vigo the Carpathian, and many Cantina creatures in Star Wars A New Hope. We'll get into all that right now. We are now talking with Mr. Howie Weed, the creature maker for the Empire Strikes Back Special Edition, but you also worked on A New Hope, and you had created these two new Cantina creatures.
Right.
Did you also puppeteer them?
Yes, I was on my knees underneath with my hand through the neck, making it look around and making the eyes look around. So yeah, it was fun. There was several other people around it too, kind of holding the shoulders down and kind of making sure that it had looked like it had some weight and underneath, because it was only built to about here.
Right.
And then it was held up by the puppeteer and some tripods.
Was it mainly a hand puppet, or were there a lot of animatronics in the eyes?
It was sculpted over a human head because I knew eventually they're probably going to want to do masks. But then for this, I made a puppet. So I put rubber skin, liquid rubber in it, and then filled it with foam and kind of hollowed it out later and made it so a human hand could go inside.
You got to add to a scene that was so iconic.
It has a special meaning for me because my mom was the science fiction fan of the family, and she read all the Isaac Asimov science fiction subscription books you would get. There's stacks of them all over the house. And when she went and saw Star Wars, she saw it before me. She came back and she said, well, they've done a scene that I thought I'd never see in my lifetime. There's the space bar where all the different aliens from all over the galaxy are all sitting having drinks together. And she's like, it's in every science fiction book. I just never thought I'd actually see it. And I was like, oh, maybe this movie's really good then. I don't know.
Oh, so this is like an homage to your mom.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh.
It was neat that it got in there. Yeah.
Then in The Empire Strikes Back, you got to take over the part of the Wampa from Des Webb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell us all about the making of that scene.
Well, first thing we had to do is try to convince George to do it as a guy in a suit, because CG was coming on real strong at that point. And when we talked to him in a big meeting, he just told us that he wanted it to be a startling moment. Like he felt like the audience didn't really understand the peril that Luke was in, because you didn't see it and you didn't know what was coming. So he just wanted to cut to the actual creature and have the audience go, oh no, he's really screwed. He's got to get out of there. So that was the whole point of it. And doing a guy in a suit was, I just talked to him about making the cave smaller, so it makes him look bigger, and then we don't have to be on stilts and try to do the giant creature thing. We can just do a guy. And he said, yeah, sounds good. And it was settled right then. So then we went about designing the suit for Around a Human. I got cast as the guy in the suit, which made it easy for us to work on it. And we made a mechanical head. which actually screwed onto my head. There was like a bolt. You know those like construction helmets that have like a crank in the back? So we had that, it'd crank it onto my head, so it was really, really on there. And then we ordered yak fur from the other side of the planet to be the fur of the Wampa. And it's funny, the first time we glued the fur on, it was just this big poof ball. It's like really soft looking,
like a big hoojib.
Yeah, and so it took a lot of like hair product for us to like just goop our hands up and like rub it through the fur and like try to give it some shape and direction and make it look greasy and, you know, have some kind of a feel of like a wild animal, you know. And we started adding like as if it'd been eating for, you know, years, all the yellow and gristle and stuff that's like you see on a polar bear when they eat a seal, that kind of thing. So
was that one of your additions to add all that on there?
Yeah, and we were like very careful not to put too much because like what if we showed up and George said, what is all this guck all over him? But we showed up and he said, oh, that's great. You got any more? So he couldn't get enough gore. He just wanted lots of gore on it. So stuff pouring out of the mouth, lots of dark, you know, like he's been, you know, carnivorously eating lots of creatures. So
I recall seeing that in the theater and the audience collective, just all of that.
Yeah. Well, good. That was the idea.
Here you are eating a leg of probably a tauntaun.
That was the idea.
Yeah. So could you see out of the mask to really judge the space?
Yes. If you look on this picture right here, you can see that there's slits where the eyes are, and that's what it was in the final one. There was no eyeballs put in, so I can see through those little.
Oh, okay. So you had good visibility.
Yeah, I could see, but it was sort of like holding a soup can an arm's length distance from your eyes.
Right.
That's what I could kind of see and look around.
Right. And George Lucas directed those scenes.
Yeah, and that was a surprise. We didn't know if he was going to show up or not, and we had gotten everything ready to go. And I was ready for someone to call action, and then nothing happened, and someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, you can relax, George just showed up. And I was like, oh, okay. And he walked on the set and like directed a little bit of the lighting, and then got set on the camera was on a dolly, so they ran him through the shot with him looking through the lens, and then he stayed on the camera and he directed while he was on the camera, telling everybody what he wanted to do. And I'm looking at it through my little holes in my suit, and I'm like, is this really happening? Is George directing the scene? This is so cool.
Howie, come on, you got to act. When you see the action, it's like, oh, sorry, I got caught up in my head.
We did one. He said, let's just do this, and we shot it once, and he said cut, and he walked out onto the set like right up to me, like this close, and he said, I don't know what that was, but here's the story. Because I was trying to be this big, powerful gorilla sort of thing. And he said, the Wampa is like a dumb bear, like a big, dumb bear. And he's really slow, and all he can think is one thing at a time. So if he's eating, he's just thinking, oh, this is good, I'm eating. And then if he hears something, he stops and he looks around, and then he remembers, oh, I was eating. So it's just one thought at a time, really slow. And I'm like, and he's like, can you do that? Can you hear me? And I could totally hear him. So I didn't want to embarrass him, so I just went, yes, sir, I can hear you. So we did it again, and his only direction, as we just kept filming it, like go back to one, like don't stop the camera, just do it again. And he kept yelling, slower, dumber. And so I was like, oh, and I'd kind of just do it even slower, and then he would say, no, slower, even dumber. And so there was a certain point where I was like, I'm almost like underwater, like just really slow.
So it wasn't faster and more intense, it was slower and more dumb.
Yeah, slower and dumber. So finally the suit started heating up and getting hotter and hotter, and I had to kind of like do a cut. We need to like, give me a second to get some air in the suit. But he said, oh, we got it. And so I was like, oh, great. All right, awesome. And I wanted to say something to him. So I asked the guys, the support crew, please take off the head as fast as you can. And it was snapped, so they had to like, each one. And then they could take it off. I was a sweaty mess in there. And I looked around just in time to see George's foot going out the door, and the door closed. Boom. And that was that. So I didn't get a chance to actually connect with him as a director-actor kind of thing. But it was so cool that he was there. I mean,
yeah. I mean, how many here could say they were directed by George Lucas? Who amongst us?
Yeah, that was a dream shot kind of experience for me.
I remember playing with my little toy Wampa in the Boston snow,
and just having so much fun because the arms could go back and forth.
Yeah.
And never did I imagine that I would be sitting here talking to the real Wampa. Or is it like the son of the Wampa?
It's like Wampa 2.0 or something.
Wampa 2.0?
Yeah.
All right, and also you were Vigo the Carpathian.
That's true. That's true. This is while I was at ILM working in the model shop. There was an idea that Dan Aykroyd was going to somehow transform into a demon at the end of the film by being taken possession of by the painting in the museum. And they hadn't finalized the design, and Dan Aykroyd was contractually obligated on another show. So he had to leave the project. And we finally settled on a design, and I said I would do it. I'll stand in for him. And they were like, great, we can just keep going. So this ended up being me in the costume. It was about a 7-hour makeup application. So, and then, you can kind of see the buildup of all the prosthetics. And then down here in the bottom, you can see a shot of when they were shooting me with slime. There was a tent made of black visqueen with a hose sticking out of it. And I kept asking on stage, like, what's the tent with the hose? And they were like, oh, we'll get to that later. So I did my lines, and then they said, okay, now we're going to spray you with like ectoplasm. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll do it. And they had me read lines while they were spraying me with that ectoplasm. And it was just going in my mouth. It sounded like being inside like a tent with like a hose, like a water hose. It was like, blah, 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 blah. That's what it sounded like inside my mask. And so they would call cut, and I had so much like ectoplasm in my mouth, I would just do this big spit and all this stuff would come out.
Tell me that's in an outtake somewhere.
I'm sure. And at the time that we did this makeup, there was no such thing as soft contact lenses. They all had to be glass.
Oh no.
So I got sent to LA where I had both my eyes molded. So I was literally injecting like alginate into my eyes and then wiggling it out. And when they wiggled it out, I could feel them pulling on my optic nerve. It was the strangest sensation.
No. Okay.
So then they made glass eyes, so they would cover the whites of my eyes as well with a little pinhole in the middle so I could see through. And to top it all off, after they got the makeup in, after they put the eyes in, so I'm pretty much completely covered, they would take grape Kool-Aid with just a little bit of water and mix it up and have me slosh it around in my mouth so my mouth was stained black.
What a sight.
Yeah. So that's just grape Kool-Aid in there.
We can never watch this scene the same way again without smelling grape Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So you played a Wampa and Vigo in two of the biggest franchises out there. What other franchise would you want to do a small cameo in?
Oh man, can they put me in The Thing? Can they put me in Blade Runner? I mean, it'd be all like my top sci-fi movie type of thing would be awesome.
Oh.
But I got to tell you, being able to do something for the cantina scene in the original Star Wars, and then doing the Wampa on Empire, which for me is like my favorite of the Star Wars movies, it's a dream shot.
Now, to wrap it up, can you show us the Wampa move? Yeah, so we were to stand up here.
What did we do? I haven't thought about this in forever.
Was it more of a turning to the camera and roar?
I think they had me kind of squatting down, and I was eating, and they had all that great crunching sound effects. So it was like kind of and someone would say, look over, and I would kind of go, and I would kind of rise, and I'd look, and then they'd say, okay, go back to eating, and I just kind of go back down and kind of like kneel down as close as I could. So that was my big move.
Then when you lost your arm, you had to do a slight turn to the camera.
Oh yeah.
Roar. May I?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Roar! Roar!
The funny
George,
thing.
Was that good, George? Is that good?
Yeah. The funny thing with that is I couldn't make the Wampa's mouth open very big for the scream because it was tied to my jaw. So I had my arm behind my back so that it was a missing arm. We had a plug that looked like blood. And so when they said, can you open the mouth more? I was like, no. And so I just pulled my arm forward and I crept it up the neck of the creature and I put it in the bottom jaw. And I said, okay, go ahead and do it now. And they rolled camera and I just yanked the jaw as far down as it would go and leaned back. and I heard all of the rubber bands and everything going ping, 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 ping. And I was like, oh no. And but then they said, oh, that was great. We got it. And I'm like, well, good, because I'm not so sure.
Thank goodness.
We could have done it twice.
Looks like one of those little yapping teeth.
Yeah.
This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Sure, no problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Howie Weed.
Well, that wraps up episode 528 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank Toby Philpott, Femi Taylor, and Howie Weed for giving us their time so graciously. Skywalkers, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also find us on all socials at Skywalking Pod, which incidentally, we went to that live reading of
Return of the
Jedi
called Ewok Murder Party.
Yes, and we put out one of our reels is at nearly 1.5 million views.
Our biggest yet.
1.5 million views. It's like it has an engagement of like 900,000 people have been like engaged. It's crazy. It's nuts.
It was a minute video of the live performance of Jedi Rocks.
Yeah.
They brought a whole band out to perform Jedi Rocks, and they rocked the house.
There's like thousands of comments. It's nuts, but it's pretty fun. So we'll let you know when it hits 1.5 million. It's at 1.4 something.
Now, you can also join us on our live stream every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time for Things We Want to Share. We go live on YouTube, and we share the things we've done the previous week and give you a preview of what's coming up, like the different events we're going to, where you can catch us at our next Star Wars trivia events. We share the theme parks we've been to, Disney, Universal. Next week we'll be sharing a whole lot of new Halloween stuff. Can't wait for that. We just wrapped up this week's Things We Want to Share, and Glenn Stein, who's in the Sky Chat right now, he came on and showed off some new merchandise he just got.
Yeah. And if we don't go live on Mondays, then make sure to check out our YouTube for the next scheduled video, because next week we will be going live on Wednesday instead.
Yeah.
September 10th. Yeah.
And we also do a whole lot of trivia.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the beginning of September, so it's Halloween season. It was Halloween season back in July. So we're doing a lot of Halloween trivia right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you interested in our books? Well, autographed copies of Today in Star Wars History Part 1 and 2 and Skywalking Through My Fandom, the interactive notebook, they're available at skywalkingthroughnneverland.com/book, and if you order them there, then we'll sign them for you. Yeah. And if you want the hard copies, well, you know what? Get them now, because we only have a couple left, and when they're gone, they're gone.
The hardcovers, yes. Now, do you look forward to our conversations and live streams every week and want to support that? Well, you can consider becoming a member of the Skywalking Force and supporting us through our Patreon. As you just heard, your names are read and seen on screen every month on this podcast. Also, on all our YouTube videos, you are listed in the credits of all of our YouTube videos. So we want to thank you guys. And the Skywalking Force, you have your own dedicated podcast feed that contains early access to many episodes and bonus content. And head to skywalkingforce.com, have a look at the options available, and thank you those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
Now, we want to also thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations, for their continued support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park, a Disney cruise, or to a Universal Studios theme park? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge. So head over there and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Okay, get ready, Skywalkers in the Sky Chat. We are part of the Skywalking Network.
Skynet.
Where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
Star Warsologies,
the Max Effects Podcast,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and Today in Star Wars History. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember
to pat Sarah's fuzzy ears
and stay away from Jabba's tongue. And
Neverland on Alderaan. or you'll get licked by Jabba the Hutt.
No, don't. Meh. Right now. So, Richard, I'm going to need your clappy claps and your mic all set up. Mine's all set up.
And so is mine.
Because I'm responsible and I held on to it.
Yes, and my mic is right here where it was the whole time.
But now there's going to be mic noise.
You're a mic noise.
Thank you.
I'm going to start that again.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that wraps up episode.
Excuse me. All right. Well, that's a wrap.
There you go. There you have it. Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.